The Industrial Revolution on PBS.
To set the story, I will tell you the story of Timothy Johnson. He was a great lad with a lovely wife and the most amazing wife. But then it all changed.
The Industrial Revolution began with mass population growth due to widespread resistance to disease. With more jobs available, a man could now afford to start a family, and from there, population growth shot up.
The agricultural revolution was the result of new crops brought in from the Americas. Rich landowners used the enclosure movement to gather land from small landowners. The great landmass was used to improve soil quality, breed better livestock, and encourage crop rotation.
And from that we got the potato. The Industrial Revolution was also caused by an increase in trade. The increase in trade was due to the fact that there was an increase in demand for goods. These goods came from the putting out system, which was when goods were made in merchant homes. The merchant then sold these goods into
Trade was important, but you also can't forget about new inventions and ideas. The French encyclopedia spread new ideas about crafts, and the British were sending people to find new plants to bring to the Americas. There were also new inventions like hot air balloons.
England experienced the Industrial Revolution first due to a number of leading factors. Such leading factors include bountiful harvests, overseas trading, a large navy and merchant marine, application of new ideas to old inventions, openness to new ideas and experimentation, a more fluid society, a less powerful government, a less powerful aristocracy, a fantastic water transportation system, and financial institutions willing to support the growing businesses as well as a unified internal market.
Since Britain was the first to experience the Industrial Revolution, it was also the first to feel its effects. Some of these effects were an increase in trade and greater exports. The early Industrial Revolution paved the path for new technology, a new work life, and an increase in production.
The Industrial Revolution had a great change on the entire world, but really affected cities the most. For example, most cities grew in population. Manchester, where Timothy Johnson lived, doubled in size from 1758 to 1858. The industrialization also led to beautification of cities. Since money was in abundance, they used it to build fine homes, churches, and museums. The cities quickly became disgusting, littered with trash and other pollutions like air pollution that was especially bad in cities like Manchester. There was also a great amount of noise pollution caused by the railroads. Widespread diseases quickly became common caused by the air and water pollutions, causing in turn more hospitals to be built. Children lived with pigs in the slums, and the poor class lived in very close quarters. Railroad guards, warehouses, and workers' houses surrounded the cities. Good enough.
Hello, sir.
I would like to buy your property.
That's not an option, I'm afraid.
It will be.
Do you like to wear clothes? Neither do I, but textiles were the leading industry in early Industrial Revolution. The Industrial Revolution brought along with it a great amount of mechanization. Mechanization is the introduction of new machines into society which would do the work for the people. Mechanization allows such advantages as a tenfold increase in crop production and a faster export of goods. Mechanization allowed new inventions such as the spinning jenny, the cotton gin, and the water frame, which allowed a faster production of cotton, and so America became the Cotton Kingdom.
My life would just be so much better if there was this universal male suffrage idea. I could finally vote and change my working situation. No more will I lead a life that is filled with coke iron and puddling. This filthy industry life. For such a low salary. My life will not be a small job. This division of labor.
Get back to work! The steam engine was a vital part of the Industrial Revolution in both England and the United States. Some of its advantages is that it could pump water out of mines, it powered factories, and it powered steamboats in the United States so that it can flow up and down rivers. Work faster, you wrenches! I need the money because I need a new hat soon. The only people that really benefited from the Industrial Revolution was the middle class. Since they had enough money to build their own businesses, their wives and children could stay at home, unlike Mr. Johnson's wife. Most people in the working class were poor and sick, so most turned to drink. There was a real lack of moral judgment.
How are you? Fantastic. The Factory Act of 1833 just changed my life. My hours are shortened by 8 hours a day.
That's wonderful. I'm free from working in the mines. Thank you, Mines Act of 1842. No longer do I have to work in the mines, and neither does Timothy Jr.
As we know, new political and economic ideas were strengthened by the Industrial Revolution. Of these ideas, there was laissez-faire with capitalism versus utopian socialism with positivism. Laissez-faire, the idea that the government should refrain from interfering with the economy, was primarily supported by Adam Smith. The free market capitalism depended on the production and exportation of goods. Thomas Malthus and David Ricardo explained how poverty was a result of the population boom. Working class delayed marriage and life to avoid famine. The idea was not to challenge laissez-faire. Positivism philosophy was developed by the French court of Saint-Simon. The idea was that the application of the scientific method to society and economy would solve problems. Utopian socialism brought the idea of poor farming worker communities under the benevolent business leaders. Britain supported laissez-faire in the end, with France supporting the positivism ideals. In my opinion, the women of the upper class led a better life in the Industrial Revolution. But at the same time, the cult of domesticity led to the removal of middle-class women from the business world. Working women had it tough. They were the ones supporting the textile industry, their families, and themselves. Middle-class women suffered the removal from their previous business life, and they were now confined to the house, not trusted to have any rights. The working women suffered more in poverty, living in the slums with little money to change their lives. At least Mary Wollstonecraft and other women could protest their position. All women suffered oppressive rights and negative changes to their lives during the Industrial Revolution.